Oh, good day, Rob. How are you, my feathered friend? I know you're not actually feathered, but you know. We out here doing some PAX impressions. I've got my full notebook, my little breast pocket notebook that I had with me all weekend. Taking notes about the games we got to play or just see or experience. Just gonna be going in order. And the first one we got to stop and see was Wrestle Story, which I'm very excited for. This was announced the Thursday of PAX. Doing well, glad to hear it. And this is not WrestleQuest. This is Wrestle Story. It's a little more 3D. It's a little less real world wrestling and a little more creative wrestling. You know, you get to create your own wrestler and take back these 5 territories from the heels that have taken over the lands. I'm a touch quiet. Hang on. I turn myself up a bit. Let me know if that's any better, Rob. We get to have to fight off the heels that have taken over the land from the 5 baby faces as a new jobber from Jobberville. And it was a very fun gameplay time. The 20 minutes we got of demo time was very fun. Very excited for more of the combat and more of the world, really. It was very obvious that the team making the game was passionate about wrestling, and it comes through fantastically. It really, the writing speaks to how well in tune they are in the wrestling industry. The set pieces they have just show how much they care about the wrestling universe and world. Let's watch the announce trailer they put out. We know how this sounds. Because of YouTube delay, that's going to be a bit loud for a minute, Rob, but the trip was very good. Driving was not too bad. A little bit of traffic on the way up, but Providence is to be expected with that. But the journey up there was great. I got to have dinner with Steve one night while Preston went out with his friend Jesse, which was also fantastic. Boston traffic is a special breed of traffic, but yeah, it is what it is. The Airbnb was nice. It was great. It was great. My feet are a little sore because we did just an absolute crap load of walking, but it was fantastic. It was everyone was exceptionally welcoming, and it was the whole welcome home motto that PAX has is very fitting because everyone was perfectly free to just be themselves in the space that is PAX, and it was very obvious walking around that was the case, and it was lovely. It was just really great. But yes, Wrestle Story, it's an active turn-based game. Felt very good. The what I got to explore of the skill trees, even though not much of it was unlocked in the demo, I did get to peek through. It looks very fun. Every character, every wrestler has their own unique, damage types and moves that will be beneficial in combat. I got to play with the 3 on screen now, although they said there's like 8 that are going to be factionable in the full game, if I remember correctly. And it was just great. The vibes were really immaculate. The writing really shone through, like I was saying, that the team really cares about wrestling, and it's very obvious that they're fans of wrestling. And when we were talking to, I believe it was either lead programmer or one of the guys from the development team, Steve, he was saying, I've been a wrestling fan my whole life, and I've slowly converted the entire team to also be wrestling fans, and then convinced them to make the wrestling game I've always wanted to make, and this is Wrestle Story. And it's really good. Nothing ever felt forced at all, just felt like a natural institute of the world things were very intentional, and the writing, like I said, the writing was good, situations were good. You come walking up Main Street in the hub world that we got to explore in the demo, and there's just a beer pong table surrounded by 8 heels, and it's just like, oh, I'm going through that table. Like, I know it. I don't know how yet, but I know I'm going through it. And you get to climb up a little 4-story building next to it and elbow drop the table right from the top frickin' 4th floor. It was a great, just so good. So good. The vibes were really good. If you're a wrestling fan, I know WrestleQuest also looks very good. Don't get me wrong, but if you're a wrestling fan, it's just more good news. It's raining good games for us wrestling fans here with WrestleStory as well. The next game we got to see, Rob, you're a Mega Man fan. You've probably heard of this. I don't know if you have it or not. Was 30XX, which is a game. Oh God. For some reason, audio capture won't grab Steam, so that just popped up in my headset, but not for y'all. It made me deaf for a hot second. I've never been much of a Mega Man guy, not because I dislike it or anything. It was just never something I got into and just never got into. So it's not something I have a lot of experience with. I've heard of 30XX and 20XX and knew that they were Mega Man likes. And so I never really, that is not the right game. What are we doing here? Is it? Yeah, this is the right game. Knew they were Mega Man like, so never, really pursued them because it was just something I hadn't played a lot of or was into really. Still in shambles. I didn't realize there was a Wargroove 2 demo. Thanks for the heads up on that. You got it, Brian. Chris also this morning when I sent that little video montage of all the pictures from the show, was like, oh, you got to play Wargroove 2? I'm like, yeah, there's a demo on Steam, and he would just sent me back the wide eyes. Well, let me tell you, Rob, I'm excited for 30XX. I'm thinking about actually grabbing it for early access here. You own 20XX. Awesome. So you're already, it's the same people. We got to talk with CK, one of the lead guys on the team, and he was so obviously passionate. He was helping us through. He was showcasing mostly what they're showcasing is their new what they're they can't legally call, but basically is Mega Man Maker, right? It's within 30XX, a full level designer kit, and that's going to come, of course, with uploadability to share with friends, all sorts of searching features, everything from garbage scale to really nice levels, because they're working on this. This behind-the-scenes system to help kind of gauge difficulty and polish of a level. And it feels great, Rob. I got to say, as someone who, I've played some platformers, but this is not necessarily the style of platformer I've played a lot of. It felt so good. I was jumping over. The mobility, the movement feels really good and refined. Everything feels very intentional. I was working with the more melee-based character. Preston was running the more ranged character. And I had this grapple ability that would drag me to an enemy, and then this fireball uppercut punch, and then one would recharge the other. So there was like this huge pit of enemies suspended in the air, and I was able to just grapple punch my way across the whole thing. And oh, it just felt so good. It looks really good. The color palette's really vibrant. And it's basically Mega Man X on crack. I believe it. Yeah. I would think it would be very fun if Yumi and Preston were to get in on like making levels for each other and challenging each other to play our own levels, because it was just a really fun time. Basically Zero from Mega Man X. Yeah, we'll go with the early access launch trailer. So this one's a little bit of an older trailer, but what do you mean ads? God. Also, I could be evil. That's the exact idea I'm thinking of, though, Rob, is us getting a little bit evil with each other. It's yeah, it feels really friggin' good. Um, I might pick it up before this sale's over because $17 would be a steal. I also got I'm wearing the pin hat, the hat I put all my pins on this weekend. I did get one. Which one is it? For the 30XX crew. It's the little blue one here. Adorable pin. I need to bend the pins over on the inside of the brim because this is basically a minefield of stabbing myself right now. Let's see. Next up is a game I have a code for. Early access starts tomorrow. I'm very, very excited for this one. I know I will definitely be streaming it tomorrow for some more PAX coverage. This is Death Road's Tournament. This is a deck building roguelite tactics game based around car combat in a Mad Max-esque world. It was very fun. This is being promoted through the Polish initiative to help. I don't know the exact name of it, but there's a Polish initiative right now that's encouraging small Polish developers of all sorts of media, not just video games, all sorts of media, movies, music, and helping them try to get a broader international face culturally, through this Polish initiative. So this is a Polish dev that's making this game. They were very excited to show it off. I got to play 2 runs of it. The first run, I tried for something a little more experimental, which was an interesting decision for the first run of the game that I've never played before. I tried to do what they call a bashing run, because you can shoot enemies. There's all sorts of different car parts you can put on the vehicle, whether it's different kinds of miniguns to put on your roof, and some will shoot in a straight line, and some you can aim into up to 6 different boxes in front of you, and others just shoot diagonally, or different things on your roof, different things behind you. There's also a lot of just straight up driving into the other cars. The actual terrain you're driving on needs to be taken into account from a tactical perspective. If you're driving on an asphalt lane and you shift over to a dirt lane, not only do you shift to the left, but you also lose speed and fall back a spot. And you have to be careful of hazards coming up on the road in the coming turns, which it warns you of on the far right-hand side of the screen. Ooh, I think I could be persuaded for that, Rob. I really do. Not Death Roads Tournament. They also have a board game for this Death Roads game, but I'm obviously a little more excited for the Vidya game. Let me see if I can't find a trailer. There we go. And there's 8 playable drivers and just as many cars that all have different base stats. Yeah, there's shifting gears, and different cars do different things depending on what gear you're in. The blue bar is your grip, or your traction. I don't remember the exact name, but it's essentially it's your grip. If you run out of that, you're going to skid, and you're going to do random things while you're in a skid depending on what gear you were in. You get, the higher the gear, the more skid cards you have to roll, and different. So right here, Chevelle here, they have a skid deck. Those are the random cards that can fall in a skid. So the first one is a stop, and the second one would be a bash behind, stop or drop down, up or down, down or down, all these different things that can happen if you try to push yourself a little too far in a turn, but could be beneficial. If you get lucky, you could bash yourself into an enemy and deal even more damage. There's one racer in the game, and this is the one I tried for the bash build, that intentionally wipes all of his traction just to try and skid as much as possible and hope for the best. It looks like they're pretty long runs. The map was good size, so you really get to customize the car and tune things the way you want. That could lead to deck bloat, but you only have... You know what? No, it's not going to lead to deck bloat, because the cards in the deck are tied to what parts you have attached to the car. So You're not going to get more and more. It's not just going to infinitely stack. Like you're going to lose something to gain something else when you're at a garage and changing parts around, or in the garage and changing parts around. Yeah, Death Throat's tournament. I will absolutely be playing that tomorrow. Like I said, I was given a key. I know Tom was also very interested. I think he'll be streaming it as well at some point. But yeah, the early access goes live tomorrow. Very excited to play some of this for y'all. I might even do it after we go over all these lovely games we've seen here. So the next one up is one Preston was a little bit more excited for than myself leading up to PAX. But I'm glad I was with him when we got to play it. This is Shumi Come Home. This is just a very cute, relaxing, chill world little explorer. You know, it's climbing and gliding, Breath of the Wild-esque, you know, those stamina meters, where you got to help this little mushroom find his way home from the wrong forest. He's lost in the forest, and he's got to get home. And there's a bunch of cute little friendly inhabitants scattered all over the place that you get to meet and who need help and who will help you in return. And Preston, like, the color palette's very nice, as you can see going on here on Steam. Let me find one with a little bit of music so you can get a sense of the music, because it was just very relaxing. Not another mushroom. And that's Shumi Come Home. Like I said, that's going to be a game that when you want something to just relax, chill, really just vibe with, that game is going to be perfect. Just, you know, little 3D platformer, no real combat, just a really nice, vibey, chill world. Preston really enjoyed the playtime. I was doing some recording through it. But yeah, just a lovely little game that I am also excited for now. Let's see. Oh, and there's a demo out that, again, we might spend a little time with at the end of this stream. Let's see. Oh, okay. The next game is one that is going to stick in both my mind and Preston's mind for the rest of our lives. This is a game called Homeseek. We did not have an appointment for this one. We happened to be nearby this game's booth while we were between appointments, and we were playing another game from the same publisher for 5 or 10 minutes, and we were all right on it. No big deal. Maybe not for us. When the publisher came over and said, "Hey, do you guys want to hear about this game Homeseek? The developer's really passionate, and he's looking for me to talk to." It's like, yeah, we got some time before our next one. So we go over, we start talking with them, and this is a post-apocalyptic survival strategy game. There's resource management, it's city management. It's not necessarily something super granular where you're directly influencing people. It's one layer up from that, where you're kind of just building the city and resourcing and managing the city. You know, setting up buildings and defining how many employees are in there, but not really who and how and why, just how many. Another Mad Max world. You know, this post-apocalypse, water has become just the most expensive thing. It's supposed to be set, if I remember correctly, around the turn of the next century, around 2100, or a little bit after that. You know, there was a nuclear war beforehand over resources, mostly water, and now the game's narrative is following this group of survivors across the country as they try to find a place they can stay at for forever. But it's going to stick in Preston and my's head for a very long time, because the developer was just so clearly overly passionate about this project. And it was a very fun 20-minute guided demo Preston got to do, but also we had like 45 minutes of conversation with the guy, and it was just fantastic. Let's watch the trailer here real quick.
Today is June 6, 2101. I'm afraid that this may be one of the last of my writings. The water's finally run out down here, just like it did in the old world all those years ago. The others are finally prepping to leave, to emerge back into the world. Because now they must go, perish from thirst. I was just a child when the rivers ran dry and the bombs began to fall. And now I've lived an entire lifetime in the darkness of this place. I barely even remember the world of my childhood. A world underneath the bright sun and blue sky. My skin is pale, my muscles are weak. I'd only be a burden to them in the harsh journey ahead. They're still young and adaptable. I know firsthand of their strength and resilience. If there's water to be found up there, they'll be the ones to find it. If there's anything to salvage from the ruins, they'll be the ones to do so. They know nothing of the society of the old world. They are the ones who might have a chance to rebuild civilization.
And yeah, so it's going to be a very narratively driven experience, you know, in those moments where it's not just the city building. But the city building was very well done. A lot of decisions to be made, and harsh decisions as well. I spoke with the developer as someone who wants to build something and then later realizes layout's not perfect. You know, how does destroying and rebuilding things look like in this game? And he said it's not impossible, but it does have its consequences. You know, it's supposed to be a game that isn't going to. It's supposed to be a punishing game. It's not necessarily out to directly kill you, but it doesn't want to see you win either. You know, it's neutral to your existence basically. And it's got a multiplayer mode. It's going to be a little bit more. They're going for a little bit more versus, not so much like cooperative. They're, you know, drop into a map with a bunch of random people and see who can survive and gather the most resources and the most effectively. But really, I can't wait to support this developer because, like I said, they were so passionate. I mean, we got a choose your own adventure book as part of the media kit with this one. And it's like, it's really well done on a nice book, and a whole carton full of Homeseek propaganda and goodies, basically. There's like a small vial of water in there. There's sunflower seeds. It's like all the things you need to survive. And like small vial, it's like 5 milliliters. It's so tiny. But it was just exceptionally cool. There's a demo for this that I will be playing, if not after this stream, sometime in the near future. And I'll definitely be playing the game when release happens. And they're aiming for a Q3 release for this year. But that's Homeseek. If you're at all a city management or resource management person, check it out. Next up, Brian, I don't know if you're still hanging out in the chat back there, but next up is Arcadian Atlas. Which I think a good bit of our community knows about, thanks to the screamings and rantings of one Brian Keese in the chat. This is another tactics game, very Final Fantasy Tactics. I got to record Preston playing, and he failed the mission in glorious fashion, as only Preston could do. But yeah, I mean, if you're a Final Fantasy Tactics fan, I think this game's going to be right up your alley. It looks fantastic. The writing that we got to see in the demo was very nice. The combat was punishing if not paying attention. Right, Preston is self-admittedly not the greatest tactics guy. I mean, like I'm watching him lay out his team. And I'm like, how you feeling, Preston? He's like, well, I put my ranger on the front line. It's like, okay, buddy. But it really looks good. Let's take a peek here at the trailer.
I'm so happy that I get to see America for what it is.
You don't know my values. Maybe we have more in common than you might think.
Why don't you just tell me?
Freaking ads.
Mom, what are
Freaking ads. What is this? God, it's like they need to pay to run this website or something.
We both knew this day was coming.
Get them out of here!
A day to choose between that tyrant on my throne or me. But while battle lines were being drawn, you tarried in your choice, gathering allies. So it seems I must make the choice for you. Shuffle the Atlas. I'll give you war.
Yes, this looks very good. It's going to be coming to us this summer, is what we heard. Preston, like I said, did lose in the demo. It was great. But I have this wishlisted, of course, and if any of these look interesting, be sure to wishlist them. It's a great thing for the developer and the publisher to know what the interest is looking like before launch. So wishlisting is always greatly recommended. This game does look great. Very excited to get my hands on Arcadian Atlas, and as soon as that is released, you can be sure you'll be seeing some streams of that. Next up, I know Rob in chat yesterday said very excited for this. Demon School. Very excited for this. I got to play this demo. We get to the booth for our appointment for Demon School, and they said, "Yeah, not a problem. We're just clearing the White Void room. They'll be ready for you in a couple minutes." And the White Void room, because this was the first team that we got to go to that had like a separate little cordoned off behind door area for the media TV and console. And it was just this pure white room, just this void of nothingness other than a TV and a couch. And Preston's recording or taking pictures throughout the process while I'm getting to play this demo. And gosh darn, it feels so good. Combat is just the right amount of plan perfectly and you're fine, and mess up and you're screwed. It's just the right balance on that scale. It's got Into the Breach influence. It's got just tactics game influence. It's got a little bit of that Persona influence as you're going through, high school and making relationships. And the characters all felt really good. We got to meet Destin, the himbo character, who does not understand why anyone would want to drink refrigerated sweet milk. He wants his sour, chunky, unrefrigerated milk. God love him. It's the poor boy. But let's take a peek at the trailer for Demon School. Newt is the lovable healer of the group, doesn't even attack his conscientious objector, and I don't harm him for it. I don't blame him for it. Dev team was talking about how demons are 3D and humans are 2D, so there's this interesting, lore perspective for why it's this mix and mash of 2D and 3D. So like the more 3D a being, the more powerful a demon they are, which was super cool. But there's a really interesting balance to action points and encouraging use of all of your team, right? Like you only have X amount of action points per turn. Each character will use an increasing number of action points the more you try to use them in a given combat scenario or a given turn of combat. So you wind up, trying to spread everything out so that you can get as much done as possible instead of having like one person who's super strong do everything like might happen in some other tactics games. You're really encouraged to spread that out because otherwise that person's only going to get to do like 3 things, where instead you could get like 6 things done if you spread it out across everyone on the team. Everyone's got a really nicely defined role. We got to play with like a brawler, 2 brawlers, a healer, and crowd control in the demo, and everything felt really well balanced. The soundtrack was really good from what we got to hear as well, Rob. Art style is really cool. Definitely excited for Demon School. Cannot wait for this one. Didn't get any specific quarter, but they are planning to release this year, so we will be keeping our eye out, and as soon as this is out, you can be sure there will be more coverage of Demon School. Before I forget, they are talking about a public demo in May for this game, so everyone keep your eyes out for that because we want to play more Demon School. All right, and next up is Go-Go Town. Go-Go Town is adorable. Go-Go Town is also the reason I got to meet, and this is a story I'll tell and won't shut up about, honestly. This is the reason I got to meet Alana Pierce while I was at PAX this year. And we'll get to that at the end because that happened after this we had this demo and this appointment. So Go-Go Town is Steam wishlist trailer. We'll go for this reveal trailer. Go-Go Town is very Animal Crossing. There's a little bit of Stardew Valley in here. It's very city management, and this one is a little bit more granular, unlike Homeseek, which is more broad spectrum and over top. This one, you're like a mayor on the streets. You can help clear out the trash bins and bring the trash out and catch fish, and you can also just assign your citizens to it because basically this is a town that was bought by a company and you've been hired as the mayor to make it as profitable as possible. But it's adorable, and there's aliens, and there's a fun button with it's got Y on the controller when you're just walking around is dedicated to being a high five button. So you can just walk around and high five all your villagers and your townsfolk, and you can high five the cow, which is very important. It's probably the most important thing in the game, honestly, is high fiving the cow. Make sure you high five the cow. But it was very cute. Preston had a great time breaking the physics a little bit. He got a car up onto the sidewalk when he shouldn't have. But the developers were very passionate. This was made by a 2-person team, and it's very cute. I really can see myself spending some time in it. I'm not necessarily a huge Animal Crossing person, but I think there's enough differentiation here. And that aspect of automation and the logistical aspect really clicks for me in a strong way. So I will definitely see myself playing this when it comes out. Which, do I have notes on when that's going to be coming out? Yeah, they're looking for an early 2024 release. It's only been in development for about 1.5 years, so it's still got a little bit of time to cook in the oven. They've got a built-in music changer. They've got a couple indie music people making music for the game, and it is just their real song titles and names, so you'll get to go check them out on Bandcamp and stuff. I don't remember their names off the top of my head. It's probably in the footage we have recorded, though. A lot of these games, be sure to check out the RealDraftPunks channel. Preston will be uploading over the coming days a bunch of videos of interviews and video recordings of demo time at the show that we took while we were there. Next up, Brian, I'm sure will also be very excited to see this one come up here. War Groove 2. This is a game I know there's a few people in the community very excited for. It's not something that's been super on my radar. But I gotta say, the demo looked pretty good. Preston didn't get too far in this one either because, again, tactics games maybe not his forte. Poor Preston. Oops, excuse me. But the art style is really fun. Really like the way the cutscenes look for the battle options here. They've got a new roguelite mode that they're really talking about while we were at PAX. And obviously roguelite modes for games that also still have campaigns. It's just a great way to increase replayability, and tactics games like this are really well suited to roguelite modes. This has a demo. I didn't get to play the demo at PAX, so I'm really glad there's a demo on Steam. I'll be playing that at some point shortly, if not the end of this stream once we get through all these impressions, so I can give you a little bit better, more in-depth talk about it, because like I said, I didn't get to play. I got to watch Preston for a little bit, and Preston wasn't necessarily super turned on by it, which is Preston's fault. Next up, we've got a game I am now really excited for. I was vaguely interested when we saw this at the Sony State of Play tail end of last year. This is Pacific Drive. I am very excited for this game now, because when we saw it at the Sony State of Play, I wasn't really sure exactly what we would be getting. What kind of game this was, because I could see you're in a car, of course, but there's also this supernatural aspect in the trailer than we first saw at the State of Play, and it's just like, what exactly is this game going to be? How is this all going to work together, and what genres are they mashing up, and what are they, inventing for themselves? And we got some of those questions answered when we got to have some talk time with the dev team and got our hands-on playtime. And it's much more a run-based survival game, and the survival is not like a lot of survival games where you have to keep track of yourself. Your car is your survival. So you have to be repairing body panels. You have to be swapping body panels to fit for your driving style, swapping tires, making sure your tires aren't flat, repairing your motor, swapping your motor. And a lot of this isn't as granular as something like My Summer Car or Car Mechanic Simulator, where you're like, turning individual nuts and bolts on and off the car. It's like press and hold a button and it'll take the panel off, and then you bring a new panel over and attach it really easily, press and hold a button. But it's still that process of getting to customize that I'm very excited about. There's only the one chassis in the game, but who doesn't love a 1970s era Woody station wagon? Come on. All right. Come on. Seriously. And you can customize it a lot of ways. I've seen the devs were talking about summer tires, off-road tires, different kinds of bumpers. Here we go. There's some different kinds of customization on screen there. Paint and everything to customize it also is, limited stuff. So you got to be careful about what you're doing, where like if you run out of blue paint, you ran out of blue paint. Sorry about that. It's run-based. We didn't get to see how that continuation, but, at the end of the run, it said 0 anchors recovered. So it seems like we're going into this area of the Pacific Northwest that's really, it's been touched by something supernatural. We don't know the fullest extent of it yet, but it's been touched by something supernatural. When I said to the dev, like invasive species, and he's like, well, maybe you're the invasive species. It's like, okay, so maybe this is like just Mother Nature. Like, what is this? We're still, there's a lot of questions to be answered. And I can't wait to find out what the answers to those questions are, because I'm going to love the process of exploring and upgrading the station wagon. Just the 15 minutes we got to play. The demo was great. The world was really fun to explore. I got out at one point to go pick up some materials from a car that was broken down on the side of the road. And when I turned back around to get into the station wagon, it was surrounded by like 15 mannequins that were kind of glowing red. And I was panicking. I got in the car as fast as I could and drove through them, and it damaged the car heavily. And before I had a chance to try and pull over and fix the car, what can only be described as a floating bundle of sentient tires tried to steal the car with me in it. Very exciting stuff, people. This is going to be a wild time. If survival games are your thing, and survival games a little more like Valheim, right, where there's no minimum requirement. If you're not eating, it's fine. Like, you don't have to consider your health. You just have to consider the car's health and fuel. So maybe fuel's the one thing that was the most similar. But outside of that, And even then, you can still play the game. You're just searching for fuel on foot. But yes, their planned release is later this year. I believe they said sometime in the fall, but nothing specific for sure on that end, but definitely this year. And I cannot wait to get my hands on this. Thank you for the lurk, Brian. Yeah, I really cannot wait to get my hands on this. This is one I absolutely will be playing quite a bit of on stream here. Next up, we've got Castle of Alchemists. This is a game with a demo on Steam right now. Oh, hang on. Let's watch the trailer for Pacific Drive. Sorry, Castle of Alchemists. We'll get right back. Brian was in here as DraftPunks like 10 minutes ago, Preston.
Warning. An instability front is approaching. Take immediate shelter in a stabilized area. Locations impacted include sectors Delta and Echo.
Another one? After all these years? Call her. Now.
Yeah, so that's a game very excited for. Can't wait to get our hands on that. And that's, yeah, PlayStation and PC. Next up now, Castle of Alchemists. This was a game at the PAX Rising booth. It was just a very fun Dwarf Forge-like, if I remember correctly. I haven't played Dwarf Forge. I've heard about Dwarf Forge, but you know, it's part tower defense, part action game, top-down action game. You're this mutant, I guess. Yeah, some kind of alchemically mutated human, built and bred for combat. The Castle of Alchemists has been like perfectly fine, defended for years because of its like location. It's like up on some kind of mountain, if I'm vaguely remembering the intro correctly. But all of a sudden, it's being attacked from the inside. Like portals have opened up from inside and have started to attack the Castle of Alchemists. So you've been awoken early to help fight the good fight, and we have to, you know, set up defenses before these waves start, and then work with them to stop the enemies. It was a very fun demo. I got to play a couple runs in my time, and really enjoyed getting to equip my hero with different equipment. You know, he started out with a blunderbuss, and by the end of it, I had a repeater crossbow. I had different kinds of grenades and different sorts of other AoE attacks, burping fire attack, all sorts of interesting things. And the tower defense section was maybe not it was a different kind of tower defense. It's not the tower defense where you're setting up a lot of things next to a path that are shooting at your targets. You know, there's not a lot of cannons and ballista here. There's a little bit of that, but most of what you're doing is going directly on the path that the bad guys are taking to you. So you're setting up barricades to force them to take certain routes, and spike traps, and ceiling operated dart traps, and flamethrowers that go off when something crosses their path, and things like that are more directly on the route as opposed to being just off of the route. This was a very fun time. There's a demo for this one out now, which, again, if I'm not streaming at the end of this stream, I will be streaming very soon. Let's take a peek at the trailer. This is a Turkish team, 2 people, if I remember correctly, 2 or 3 people. That's when I can definitely see myself just milling away, just having fun every now and again. It's an absolute pass some time game that I'm excited for. The like I said, the mechanics felt really cool. It was a fun, different differentiation to the tower defense mechanics instead of being kind of off the field, a little more on the track. Very fun, very good game. Next up, we've got, this one isn't even going to be on Steam. This is a board game Preston and I got to see and talk with the creators of. This is Salvage Deep Space. Let me see if they have any. Yeah, there's a little trailer. This one's a little bit of a longer trailer, but let's let the trailer talk, and then I'll talk about it a little bit.
Once upon a time, there was a resplendent kingdom full of learned folk and world-bending magics. Life was complicated back then. Many different factions wanted control over the magics and fought viciously. Just as the kingdom was about to collapse under the stress of all the fighting, a dragon appeared in the sky. A dragon so fierce, its first steps upon the world were like thunder. Its first breath, hellfire. Its first word was ruin. A once beautiful land reduced to nothing but dust and memories. Just like that, all of a sudden, the people had nothing to fight over. They had only the world and its many terrors to fight against. The learned folks gone. The awesome magics lost, but not forgotten. Some still believe the old knowledge can be recovered and dedicate their lives to it. They changed. And one day, you'll change too.
Hello, my name is Matt Marsters. My friends call me Cap.
And I'm Sean Guinan.
And when you put us together and sprinkle a little cinnamon on top, you get 3301 Games.
The two of us have been bonding over tabletop experiences for about 15 years now, and we decided to make the leap and form our own company in order to connect with those that share our passions.
These are passions like tabletop gaming, pen and paper role-playing, even LARPing, sci-fi, fantasy, everything. We took all of the pieces of things we love and we're putting them together to create our first game, Salvage Deep Space, which is a cooperative game for up to 4 players.
In Salvage, players will be called upon to craft their own crew of exosuit pilots, and they'll embark on an adventure in alternate future Sol system.
Salvage Deep Space is a legacy game. If you're unfamiliar with what that means, legacy games are more involved than the average session game. This is a game you're going to play over multiple sessions, and the game is actually going to grow and change as you do. Not only will your characters level up, but you're going to explore new storylines, emergent plot points, meet new characters, and all of that's going to change and grow the experience.
And in support of the legacy system, there's a handful of mechanics that we've designed and are very excited to share with you. One of these mechanics is a progressive D10 system. So it's a D10 specific to your character that as your character levels, so too will the dice.
And we've also created a mechanic for how we handle adversary AI that we're hoping is really seamless and makes the game accessible and fun to play.
Not to mention a gamified communication system for you and your teammates to,
well, communicate.
Communicate.
We're pushing forward across every possible aspect of development right now, but we've reached a point where, frankly, we need your help.
And so we invite you to back this project if it speaks to you. Back this project if you'd like a copy.
Back it if you want a deluxe copy that has extra goodies in it, or if you'd like to be immortalized in board game history forever, we also have an option where you can actually get your portrait or a portrait based on you permanently included in the game box. Please look at what else we have on the page, dive into it, learn more about the game, and think about coming on this adventure with us.
Really appreciate your time. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for reminding me. I muted myself so I wouldn't talk over any of this important stuff that they were talking about in this longer trailer. I'm glad I was watching chat. I didn't say all that much yet. Thank you for the shades comment, Brian. I set my green screen up for the first time in a while, and I have the light shining directly in my face. So I have a little bit of a headache. So I'm just using that the shades to cut the light off a little bit for my eyes. Yes, so Salvage Deep Space is a 2 to 4 person co-op skirmisher board game that looks really cool. I'm saying it again right now, Brian. Don't worry. I'm saying it again right now. Maybe not exactly word for word, but we're going over the same stuff. Very excited to pick this up. I backed this while we were at PAX because I immediately hit up my close buddies who I'd be able to play this board game with, seeing if they'd be down. Am I still muted? I think I'm not muted now. What up, Marvel? Just going on some PAX impressions here. This was a board game we got to see, this Salvage Deep Space. We had a very long conversation with the dev, and it's the creators, I guess. I guess developers, basically the same idea. All right, good. Yeah, 2 to 4 player co-op skirmisher, long-term story. They're looking for like 1 to 2 hour long play sessions, with hopefully an onboarding process that's under an hour. But like a full campaign of like 60 to maybe 100, 120 sessions for a full campaign. You're a pilot in a mech. This comes with something like 100 or a little over 100 bespoke pilots, because you're probably going to be hosing out your mech suit pretty regularly. But the mechs are customizable as you play the game. You level up, and they talked about in the trailer this evolving D10 that when you first get it, when you first start out with your mech suit, all the D10 has is 8 blank sides, 1 max side, and 1 min side, and your min and your max are a natural 1 and a natural 10, and all the blank sides for the very beginning of the game are just, fine. You don't, there's nothing bad, but nothing great. It just happens. But slowly you get to add stickers to those D10 and change what you have potential roles for, with abilities that get added onto your suit. And it all looked very fun. Everything is signposted very well across the creation of the full game. Everywhere that there's like a little symbol, it also has a blurb again explaining what that symbol means. So it should be very easy to play the game. The miniatures were fantastic. They looked really great. And the dev team was just sweet. They were so lovely. And it was just an absolutely great time. I will be playing this with Tim and Mitch come the end of this year when this gets in my hands. But I'm going to try and see if I can figure out a way to record those, or at least record a couple of them. If not, maybe I'll try and get Mitch and Tim on for just some impressions about our playtime with it at a certain point once we've had a few sessions. But I would love to do more stuff with Salvage Deep Space once it comes out. It was a real joy to talk to the team, and it looks and sounds like a really fun game and a really cool world where you're trying to find these unique pieces of old world tech and across deep space to prepare yourself for harder and harder combat, as well as maybe make a little money on the side. All right, next up, we're back to Steam and also YouTube. Oh god, it's just dark enough. I can't. I guess I'm taking the shades off. Begone Beasts. I keep doing that. It's Begone Beast, not Begone Beasts. This was a very, very cute, but also kind of spooky and scary, almost like combat party game where you're kids in this haunted environment. Your flashlight is your weapon. Each kid manifests a weapon through this spectral flashlight. So I played the little bunny who has a crossbow that they apparate and shoot the enemies with. This was very good. It was an absolute blast. And the final boss was very upsetting. It was very it's very fun and funny. There's a dedicated fun button in this one as well, and it's also your run button. So your run button is also a scream button, and I have a pin of this as well. I got this pin, one of the kids running and screaming very fun. I will definitely be picking this. Do we have a I know we have a bit of an interview with that. I don't remember if it said it. Preston, do you know if they said when Begone Beast was going to release? Do we have a date on that? I don't remember, and I didn't write it down because I'm imperfect. And while I'm waiting for you to answer that, I'm going to put on a trailer.
Here it goes.
No, we didn't have any little lunch bags, Brian.
You don't need to get that personal to get this.
Preston, who were you in our playthrough of this at East, and what was your weapon, if you don't mind? Oh my god, I never finished the Tim Tam story after Go Go Town. Cool. Yeah, this was the boss we got to fight. Just very, very upsetting boss design. That was great. Real quick, while it's in my head, so after Go Go Town, you played the frog. Nice. After Go Go Town, in the media bag we got was a package of Tim Tams, which is an Australian snack because an Australian dev team made Go Go Town, And later in the same day, Alana Pierce comes over and taps me on the shoulder and asks if she can have a Tim Tam, which of course we provided her with. And then Preston tells me that was Alana Pierce because it was, had masks on. It's convention fracas. I didn't even recognize till Preston said something. It was a lot of fun Marvel. You know what? It is a Marvel-ass game, too. It is a Marvel-ass game, if ever there was one in my mind. I think you would love Be Gone Beast. I don't remember. There's not a demo now. I don't remember if there was going to be a demo coming up before release. But definitely keep your eye on it. Next up, this game goes out to one Zavazda on the DraftPunks Discord. This is A Corgi's Cozy Hike. It's absolutely friggin' adorable. You play as a corgi in a world that just needs some more love, unconditional love, like a dog would give. You collect corgi butts to increase your stamina meter so you can climb and glide higher and longer. And it's another one of those adorable freaking games that you want to relax in and have a good time with. They were really good Marvels the first time I'd ever had Tim Tams. And it has a more pixelated mode like this, but I think the main game, the regular release, is not the nostalgia mode. But otherwise they're the same game. It's just going to be very cute and very, very chill. You can lay down in a beach chair and your corgi will have little sunglasses that pop up. And it's just adorable. It's just adorable. It's adorable. Also, the dev team will be donating proceeds from the game to a Washington State dog shelter, which they've done with other releases they've had for their mobile games, also revolving around dogs. And they had a little portion of their booth dedicated to show pictures of dogs they've helped rescue and adopt over their time with game proceeds, which was very, very cool. So if you like supporting dog positive companies, absolutely pick up A Corgi's Cozy Hike. It was saccharine sweet in the best way possible. Next up is a little game very much not in that vibe called Blackout Protocol. I'm very excited. I'm likely to get into the playtest. We were talking to the devs, and they said, to their understanding, there's no number limit. You just have to request to be in. This is a top-down 3-person co-op twin-stick shooter that is definitely, early on at least, on the punishing side. Different classes, different equipment, everything felt very different. I was playing as the medic, and you have an ability that heals you and nearby allies. You get to pick your starting weapon. I tried the assault rifle. I guess I went with the assault rifle twice, which maybe wasn't the smartest decision thinking back. I should have picked a different weapon so I could have more things to talk about. But Preston tried the minigun and did not like the minigun. The wind-up time was very long, and then I believe we went to the shotgun. Also spent a lot of time using the pistol. Everything felt really good. Movement felt fun. The dodge roll felt really good. Run-based game. We were dying over and over again. For sure, it was very... It's going to be a game that rewards communication within the fire team, and I love those kinds of games. It definitely, the first time we went, so it was Preston, myself, and shout out to Eric, who was at the show, who joined us to be our third. And our first round definitely was a learning experience. Our second round went much better. The communication was great. We stuck together and didn't push anything too bad, and when we made it much further. But the devs were talking about how the game is supposed to be pretty hard up front. You get more powers as you go on, and the game progressively gets a little bit easier. But you've got to kind of climb over that hump a little bit at the start. And that's still, in the balance. Things are still getting balanced. This game isn't out 100% yet, and will be early access when it does come out this year. But they've got a playtest right now going on Steam you can apply for. And I have applied. I'm just waiting to hear back. Like I said, when we were talking to the devs, there shouldn't be any problem about anyone getting in. It's just you have to apply. It's just not an open beta. Let's get a little trailer here so you can see it a little bit better. Blackout Protocol. I can not talk and type. Apparently, my brain is in one or the other. Still, I guess, used a lot of myself at PAX East, I guess. Have a nice death. Yeah, so I hope we get in. I hope we get a few people into the early playtest. I'd love to play a little bit more of that with good friends in a not a convention environment, and really spend some time grinding out and getting good at it. It was a lot of fun. Next up, a game I am very excited to talk about because it's doing something exceptionally unique in a genre that I totally jive with. This is Every Day We Fight. I don't want to say every day because it's every day. Every Day We Fight is it's a roguelite. It does have friendly fire a la Helldivers, Rob, because when I handed them my business card, they said, "Oh, friendly fire, nice, you're going to love this." But there's no diving a la Helldivers to go underneath your companion's bullets that I saw anyway. I don't think there was. Every Day We Fight, roguelite, turn-based tactical shooter. This is it's gonna feel very XCOM-y in the trailer for a good bit, and deservedly so. It definitely has that XCOM vibe in its tactics formula. Let me not talk and try to type at the same time, since I just can't do it apparently. Literally unplayable. Can I find a trailer for it? Do they have a trailer? Doesn't look like they have a trailer out, which is why there's no video on Steam either. But that's fine. This is one that we have about 20 minutes of footage of gameplay with dev interview at the same time. Preston will be putting that up in the coming days over on the RealDraftPunks channel. This is XCOM mixed with Gears of War. They wanted to come at the tactics thing from a totally different perspective. So when it's time to shoot, you just go into a third-person shooter view. And that gives you access to new things inside the tactics realm that other games like XCOM don't give you, right? All of a sudden, you can lean over a wall, and someone who's on the second floor of a building can shoot directly below them onto the first floor if someone just walked out of a door but wouldn't be far enough forward to really be in view, right? All of a sudden, you get to do that because you're putting the action more directly in the player's hands, and it was a really positive thing from my perspective. I didn't get to play this, and I am a little bit jealous that I didn't get to play this, that I just got to watch, because that process of breaking down the barrier between planning and shooting in this game was very unique, and it looked very fun. I can't wait to do it. And it's not getting rid entirely of that tactics aspect of like percentage chances to hit. It's giving you that granularity without removing what makes it a tactics game. It's got, a point reticle like we've seen in so many games, and then a round reticle around it. But in this game, that round reticle is essentially your percentage chance to hit. So yes, you want to get that center point on the most critical point, but you also want to fill up that circle with as much of the enemy as possible so that you're capable of getting a hit, even if it's not the hit you want. The more dead space in that circle that isn't filled with enemy, the more likely you are to miss. So it's a very unique way of having combat mix with the tactics game. I'm very excited to play it, and it's some bespoke characters, so we get to see their story progress as we go through this roguelite world that definitely also has some supernatural stuff going on. Or some exceptionally sci-fi stuff. Didn't get 100% of the details in a quick demo there, but mechanically, I'm very excited to experience every day we fight in a longer term format. And that is the last game in my notebook. My goodness! So that was all of the stuff we got to really go in depth with at PAX this year. I have downloaded quite a few of these down. Not all of these are from PAX. So Dark and Darker is not from PAX. Pika Dreams is not from PAX. And The Last Faith is not from PAX. But, chat, what do we want to see? Do we want to see Homeseek, Death Road's Tournament, Wargroove 2, Shumi Come Home, Castle of Alchemists? Let's play something for a little bit. I'm not going anywhere just yet. I got to talk about these games, but now I want to play a game. I gotta move this appointment. So that's 2 votes for Wargroove 2. Give it a second just in case Preston wants to put up a fight. Or Marvel wants to see something else, but Wargroove 2 is what it's looking like. And I'm excited. I didn't actually get to have any hands-on time with this, so it will be cool to actually play some. All right. It's looking like Wargroove. Got to get... There's game audio. Let's turn it down a little bit there. Let me know how the audio is, so I'm adjusting on the fly. Start Conquest. Hold it. You want into the Conquest games? Gotta pass the fitness test. Now come closer so I can get a good look at you. Is that a flamethrower? I gotta see this. Tackle old Bofi here. I want him nice and toasty. Impressive. It's Bofi's family. Wonder what they want. Oh, revenge. Who could have foreseen revenge? Good thing you're a commander. Us commanders are way tougher than normal units. Thank you, Rob. Looks like you're all charged up. Show me your groove. Just select yourself, then hit Fire Craze option. Oh.
I'll show you why they call me Firebird.
Horrifying. Congratulations, you pass. One more piece of advice, kid. If you see anything that looks unfamiliar, use the tile info screen. Try using the tile info screen on those guys in the corner, or anything else in the room. Then when you're done messing around, move to this highlighted tile to continue.
Get good.
Later, loser. Ya war groove. Powerful mobile ground unit. Critical hit when it attacks from a location. Okay, shows defense. Accessible to those on foot or horseback, but no one else. Cavalry vulnerable to giant. Effective against soldier. Oh. Slower, more powerful infantry. Accessible to those on foot or horseback, but no one else. Defense, flagstone. Okay. While projectiles can travel over walls, units are unable to. Forest are slow going, but provide good defense and a means of avoiding vehicles. Okay. Stone roads speed along big wooden wheels, but offer little protection. Carpet. Decorative tile. It's functionally the same as flagstone. Okay, so that's how we end a turn. Move that forward. Overview. Oh, okay. Alright. Mission. Alright. Destroy a gate. Dread Pirate Scourge of the Saffron Isles. Alright. Of course, the new roguelite mode. Everyone's here. Let Aurania's first annual Conquest Games begin. In Conquest mode, you'll play a series of small random battles. If you can reach Cherrystone's northern keep without being defeated, you win. Which units would you like to start with, Nadia? Oh, a mighty knight accompanied by 3 soldiers. Spearman squad consisting of 2 spearmen and their dog. A balanced choice of 2 soldiers, 1 archer, and 1... I guess let's start with balance to help learn the mechanics. Keep them with you from battle to battle. If any of them falls in battle, they're lost forever, but you may find more along the way. If you fall through battle... If you fall, though, Nadia, you'll lose the game and return to the starting point. So it's a roguelike. Pardon? I'll tell you later. Let's go. Okay. Small combat, fog of war active. Small combat, item on map. Small mystery, medium combat, fog of war active. I think we go this way. And do more things. No, so it still has a campaign, Brian. They're just adding a roguelite mode for extra replayability to the game. Which is still very cool, because you get to have, you know, the campaign experience that you want. Oh, dear God. I'm a fool. Yeah, where are these archers, though? Oh, that's not good. I feel my immediate death coming. Thank God I'd already injured them. I think I see what I've done wrong. Maybe a little bit. I'm not my most tactical, apparently.
Out of my way.
Gonna get burned, bruh. Good to know.
Out of my way.
That was an expensive victory. At what cost? Welcome to Errol and Orla's Assassin Emporium. We are not calling it that. What do you say? 100 gold for our finest assassin. Do I have 100 gold? I do. Good. I needed an extra unit. Medium combat. Fog of War active. Okay. Time to get fucked. Hmm. God damn. Well.
Your gold's as good as mine.
There we go. This is so harsh, so rough. Oh, no. Well. I don't know how much longer we got, boys.
Your gold's as good as mine. Out of my way.
Adding a roguelite mode, Rob. There's still going to be a main campaign, but they're adding an extra roguelite section to the game. to just add for long-term replayability. I mean, I can't believe I'm getting this far. I'm definitely going to die versus an elite unit since I'm alone. Get in the trees, get some extra defense, I guess, and do what I can. Do what I can.
I don't take prisoners.
Draw me out of the trees, how dare you. Oh, the damage. Oh no. I'm so screwed.
Out of my way. A captain always goes down with his ship.
Defeat. Go for another run or two. I think I'll be all right. Look, I mean, I'm back and alive right now. Let's take the spearman squad and the doggies. Mm-hmm. Oh, so it's a roguelike. Pardon? I'll tell you later. Let's go. Easy victory. Yes, Brian? If you let anything happen to those good boyos, I mean, something's gonna happen.
Your gold's as good as mine.
Look at those good boys. Taking down our enemies.
I don't take prisoners.
The actual best boy. Listen, it's random. I didn't get to pick it. Oh, nice. Favorite commander in the first game? Is it literally a doggo commander? Yes. Well, I mean, yeah, who doesn't like a good boy commander? He just barks at the soldiers and they're like, okay, guess I'll go this way. That's good.
Your gold's as good as mine.
There we go. All right, no idea about this map. Flamingos. Okay. I see you up there, Mr. Assassin. Thank you, Brian. Have fun in class.
I don't take prisoners.
Punishing.
Out of my way.
Right. Hmm.
Your gold's as good as mine.
I just realized, I wonder if the weight from the hat, all the pins, also not going great with. Just a light headache behind my eyes.
I don't take prisoners.
Oh, that's pretty good. But I'm pretty sure the run dies here. Oh my god. Well, then it dies this turn.
A captain always goes down with his ship.
Alright. I'm keeping an eye on Wargroove too. But I want to get in some Death Roads tournament. We provided a key for this game. Very excited. Oh, wait, game audio. I need to get the game audio capturing from the right place. Turn it down just a little bit. Mm-hmm.
Never changes. There can be new potholes and even more assholes, but the road never changes. Ever since the moon blew up, our road always.
Thanks for hanging out, Rob. You have yourself a lovely day, buddy. Probably gonna do a run or two of this and call it myself here. This is still very loud. Mm-hmm. Yep. I got an understanding of this. Handling damage, yeah. Right click on a vehicle to view its skycats. They want me to do. Yeah, right. So this was the skid stuff I was talking about earlier. Depending on what gear you're in, if you run out of handling in a given turn, it'll randomize a set of these skid cards. Use your second green card to increase your gear. Bash damage, yeah. End my turn by clicking end turn. Nothing happened. Okay, I have to do that first. I see. Well, let's get the shot behind me. Might as well. Solid music, too. That's right, Skid. Skid into the wall. Fine. on, I just positioned here. Alright, I'll take the bump. Oh, I got where I wanted, but now I have to... Alright, in turn. I wasn't paying enough attention to my handling points. Yep, I'm gonna skid. Ah, okay, skid myself on the wall. Great. Good. Let's go with Zed. Let's just go with the starter setup for now, like the recommended first one, basically. Go for a run. Dev, let me in on the scoop. Like to go for the high voltage one. Nice. Gain some free money. Do I have... Oof, I have to get into 5th, huh? I don't know that I can get into 5th. Yeah. Start shifting. Separate myself from him just a little bit, even. Gonna be a fun skid when he hits me once with anything. Yep. Oh my god, no, I'm lucky. Holy shit. Just like disabled an attack or something. There we go. That's what I needed. So we can see, this is why I was talking about there won't be any kind of deck bloat really, because it's not like I get to keep the stuff from the old parts when I've got to put on the new parts. So I'm going to lose the to the left and to the right, but I'm going to gain Turning Point, Bastard Move, that's a good name, and Nudge if I go there, although I'm tempted to go lasers because lasers be good. The lasers do basically what I already have on the back. 1 less damage, but they affect 3 squares instead of only 1 in the same range. So it could affect all 3 squares behind me instead of just 1 of the 3 squares behind me. So I'm going to take those lasers. Give me 1 second here, folks. All right, I think I'm gonna head out. I just got a call I gotta go take care of. I was gonna use the restroom. I've been going for a good couple hours. Thanks everybody for hanging out as we went over everything I got to see at PAX with Preston. It was an absolute blast. Be sure to check the RealDraftPunks YouTube channel where Preston's going to be putting up all the recorded stuff we had over those last 4 days. I'll be putting up an audio podcast here in the coming days of some impressions I got with some folks at the show walking around on Sunday. A lot of content coming. We're talking about drafts with the punks, about PAX. We're talking about some interviews, Brian interviewing Preston and I. Maybe potentially some game showcases with developer interviews over top of it, possibly. Who knows? It was a great time, and we want to do some stuff with it. So keep your eyes and ears peeled, and we'll be back soon. Bye bye, everybody.